2001, I believe, or 2002, we became partners with the Small Business Development Center. They are also our right hand when in not only presenting workshops and to the whole Rio Grande Valley, because we cover all 4 counties, but if you need help in putting together your business plan and all that before you go to see Miss Angela, these are the people you want to talk to. So I'm going to yield the floor to Ms. Maria Juarez.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to stay seated if that's okay. And that's better, and I don't run out of breath if I stand up. So, PowerPoint. So I'm just going to really quickly, don't want to take much of your time because we do have 2 other speakers. But I want to review the Small Business Development Center as a resource for small businesses and for small business success. What is the UT? So we let me step back. So about the UTRGV SBDC. So we have about 1,000 centers. Let me back up. There's an association of small business development centers. There's 1,000 centers across the U.S. and the territories that cover. So you're always close near to an SBDC. The SBDC at UTRGV covers the 4 counties and has 9 other counterparts because we're all associated with the Texas Southwest SBDC network, which is based in San Antonio. So we contract, so the UTRGV contracts with UTSA to be able to provide the services to small business owners and prospective small business owners in the RGV. With that said, so we are hosted by UTRGV. That's what the contract, where we are based, the organization. We are employees of the university, but that's what we're called, the host. We are under the unit of Office of Workforce and Economic Development, which has other centers, and I'll show you a little chart a little bit later, just so you get an idea of how expansive the network of resources is at UTRGV and in Rio Grande Valley. We serve, so we've been serving, the SBDC has been serving, me not personally, although I could have, serving the Valley since 1986. So we're about 30 years plus. The entire program, the nationwide program, is 40 years plus. So we're celebrating that. So the services that we offer are 3 key services: are business advising, which includes planning, plan development, you name it; training, which is complementary to the advisement; and research, market research. So if you want traffic counts, you want to know how an industry is doing or how it's going, we have access to resources. And so when somebody comes to us and they say, I'm exploring, I want to do X business, we say, let's start with research. And well, first of all, let's start with what you know, what you like to do, and what you can handle in terms of finances. And of course, if there's a market fit. So it's called, you probably heard of it, the 3-way fit. And so we start there, and then we do some research to start, so the entrepreneur or the business owner can start looking at what can I do, and what am I capable of doing. So the strengths is that, like I said, we're part of the network, the Texas Southwest SBDC network. We're accredited as a member of ASBDCs. What does that mean? That if we have accreditation, we have funding from the SBA. If we don't have accreditation, we cannot access the SBA funding. And so, and I'll mention, I'll let Angela cover the SBA in a little while. And so, so the mission, so there's the mission. So basically, we're here to serve the Rio Grande Valley with startup, expansion, growth. So we always say that a small business owner, even pre-business owner, they are a business. They can come to us at any point of time, whether they're exploring, to whether they've been 10 years in business, 20 years in business, because people that are starting up or people that have 10 years in business have different challenges. So we're here for the life of the business. And we have some business owners that have come back 10, 15 years later, and they want to start, like Cynthia said, they want to start a second location, or they're stuck and they can't grow and they don't know why they're not growing. So we can take a look at their financials and explore with them what could be the potential issues, and then come up with strategies for continued growth. And so all of that. So the area, again, so there's the mission. So we serve for small business success. Our vision is to be the premier small business assistance program in the area, and actually we are one of the key components of support from the state of Texas. So we get funding from the state of Texas, from the university, and also from the Small Business Administration. So together we have those funds, and we're able to provide the services at no cost to the community. If we charge like a minimal fee for 1 or 2 sessions that we do a year, and that's just recovery fees, but all the advising, the planning, the research, all of that is covered from the taxpayers' dollars that people pay into. And our core values are integrity, excellence, service, and innovation. The next one just covers the like I said, the blue portion is the Texas Southwest SBDC network, the 79 counties. There's 3 other networks in Texas just because of the size. California has 5, every other state just has 1. So that just tells you how big, how important it is, how small business is in Texas to have this program. And we cover the red part, the 4 counties. But we always have access to whatever UTSA has to offer. They have specialty centers and research, which is based in there. We have procurement, we have international trade, and we can access those services for people in the Valley as well. And so that's the strength of being part of that network. And the second strength is being part of the network of resources in the Rio Grande Valley that includes the people on this panel as well. So the headquarters, we work out of the CES building. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's on I-2 or I-69C, I think it's called, and Freddy Gonzalez. And the second location is the eBridge Center, the Entrepreneurship and Commercialization Center that's based in Brownsville. Plus, we extend our services to the community via our resource partners, usually EDCs and chambers. As you see, Rio Grande, the RGV HCC has been one of our partners formerly, and we're able to go visit and see clients at the different sites. And that is and so the next one is what I want to show you. So we're able to do that because the UTRGV in the past few years has extended, basically it's extended university, as they say. So we have a footprint across the valley. So the Office of Workforce and Economic Development has entered into agreements with different EDCs to be able to have a location available for the people of us, the Office of Workforce and Economic Development, as well as anybody at UTRGV that can use the offices. And so that is why we're able to go and visit with clients on site to get closer to the community. Because Ms. Cynthia is right, there's a great majority of small businesses that are only 1-2 people shop. There are couples that own it, maybe they can't leave. And if they have employees, they have them in shifts, so they can't always leave. So if we can get closer to them to provide the service, we do so. And so we're able to go as close as possible. And we have these partners across the Rio Grande Valley. And so that's just and so these are the other centers. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. So the other centers that are, I mentioned the ECC, the Entrepreneurship and Commercialization Center. That's a hub of resources that you'll find. The core of it is called the Kaufman program. You probably heard of it. It's 7 to 10 weeks, usually of training. Sometimes they have the 1-day intensive training. And then of course they manage the incubator, which people can pay membership and be on site. Then we have the data center, which is a research program that is led by Sai Malapati. He's at Rio Bank. So people he works mostly with communities that need research. And they access research through him. Then we have the PUD, Professional Education and Workforce Development, which is actually at the CES building with us, and they have like about 100 professional development workshops that anybody can access. They do have a small fee, but they can get discount if you're a UTRGV staff or employee, I believe, or there's certain ones that they can discount. Then we have the Apex Accelerator, which is contracting for people that want to access, they are in business and they want to get into procurement with federal, state, or local government. They can access the Apex Accelerator. And then the VBOC, which is the Veterans Business Outreach Center, which is an outreach program also funded by the SBA, and it's to service transitioning military members and veterans. And the core of the key or the central program that they have is the Boots to Business, which they go, it's a 1-day basics in like boot from the startup to the actual like learning about marketing, learning about what you want to do, access to funding, etc. It's a 1-day program on site, and then they call Boots to Business Reboot, which they offer off of the military. So veterans and their families can access those offsite. I believe they have 4 in the Rio Grande Valley a year, and I think there's one coming up in the next couple of weeks. I think I covered all the centers. So with that, I'll just speed up through the rest of the services. So the SBDC services I mentioned, this is a detailed, but we offer one-to-one services, mostly in person, but they can be through Zoom if people are in travel, etc., or by telephone. Sometimes people do sessions by telephone. So the business, we help with business planning, startup and expansions, financial projections and analysis is the core of what we do, identification of funding resources and marketing and sales and much more. And so some of the other specialized areas that we cover are business continuity, government and corporate contracting, international trade, HR, cybersecurity, AI is coming online. And it's a trend, it's not a fad, I think it's here to stay, but we are going to be doing more of that training, how to use AI in the business, things like that. And then we do the second part of the training, which is complementary. So about 70%, 67% of the advisor's time is spent with clients, working for clients, and about 20% of what the SBDC does is focused on training. So we have about 100 plus trainings just in the center alone, but then if we add that all up with the network, we can have anywhere from 50 to 60 online webinars and a few on site a month. So there's always a lot of wealth of information that you can access. So if you can't sleep, if you suffer from insomnia and you don't have enough work to do from school, you can get on to one of those sessions. Just sign up, it's an hour long. Any topic, there's different topics of interest, and it's very invaluable information. And so the third part, which is not here, but it's research information, I'll cover that. And so just quickly, so how do we continue to provide services to the Valley, in the Valley to Valley individuals, is by collecting impact. So this is not us creating it, it's the small businesses that come to us report that they created these. In 1 year, we can see over 500 people one-to-one, and they could be seen for an hour or 20 hours. I think I saw the other day that we met with somebody for 70 hours. That's rare, but it happens. We have 186 training sessions a year, attended by over 1,500 people. And the clients reported starting 44 businesses, expanding 32 businesses, and having sales over 5 million, and the total capital investment of 7 million plus. The next slide covers our main funding partner, which is the U.S. Small Business Administration. So the reason why we're able to have such a wide network of SBDCs, like 1,000 centers, with 656 bases of operation, which is four in the state of Texas, is because they have one thing in common, and the one thing is the SBA funding. And so they leverage the SBA funding to access state resources. So each center looks a little different in terms of the funding mix, but all of them can count on getting SBA funding, and then the rest are state or local dollars that we get to continue to operate. And I'll skip because I already spent a lot of time talking about business advisement. The one-to-one, just to mention that it's at no cost, and it is confidential for anybody who wants to start a business or anybody in business that wants to explore options, bounce ideas off of the advisors, etc. And so we'll skip all the way to how to access UTRGV SBDC services. So prospective clients simply go onto the eCenter website. That's our MIS system, outward facing. You sign up, just name, a little bit of information, and then somebody will contact you, set up an appointment, or refer you to a training. So you could go to a training first, or you can go to advisement first. It's up to you. And then once you set up the appointment at a time of your liking, you can come to our office or any one of our offices across the network, and then meet with an advisor. And like I said, if you have trouble, like you can't travel because somebody's operating the business, or you can't travel because you're a student and you don't have access to a vehicle, you can always meet with somebody through Zoom. And then, so the first meeting, how does the first meeting go? Some people ask. So the first meeting, you don't have to bring anything. If you have a plan, if you have questions already answered, you can bring it in. If somebody already has a business or has been in business for a few months and wants to do projections for the whole 2 years, they can bring in whatever they have. Some existing businesses already have, of course, existing businesses have financial statements and they have tax returns. They can bring those in, we can work projections off of that and by asking the clients questions. And so any ideas, so if you're exploring a business idea, you come with your ideas and then we chat and then we get to know each other, show you why we are trusted advisors, and then we come up with a project, whatever the project. It may be just, I wanna do research, and maybe I wanna do plan, I want to discuss other ideas with you, whatever it may be, we call it the project, and then you determine based on your time frame how you wanna work it. You can come every month, you can speed through the process in a few weeks, and then meet with the advisor. As long as you follow up and you're committed to the work, we will be there to support you. And then subsequent meetings are scheduled by the advisor. So once you meet with an advisor the first time, you can follow up with, before you leave, you can set up another appointment or you can leave it on an as needed and then you can call back and set up the appointment with the advisor to schedule for that. So the SBDC is a client for life. So we will never turn you away. And so how we assist new businesses with research, with business planning, with financial options, you name it. We assist existing business owners by having in-depth discussions about what their growth plans are, by being a sounding board. We also have existing business owners work with some mentors. They're not employees of the university, but we contract through the SBDC so they can spend a few hours with our clients. And some of these mentors already have businesses or they have other employment, but we worked with them in the past and our clients really like them. And so we can reach out to a mentor to talk about budgeting, for example, and they can have a plan that is strategically aligned and then people can implement it and then grow their business that way. And then assisting clients. So the main thing for when we talk to Marlene and we have the financing panel is how do the SBDC helps the small business owners speak a little bit more in the language of business. Like what is collateral? What is equity? Some small business owners know a lot of what their business, but sometimes they lack some of the language, at least at the onset. And so we help prepare them to have that first talk or that continuous talk or continued talks with their lenders, whether they be commercial lenders, nonprofit lenders, et cetera. We help them develop that way and prepare, and then we help them with the business plan and the projections. So just a few stats, I'm almost done. So the SBDC assistance, so assisted businesses by the SBDC fare better, and this is just some stats, and this is a third-party verification. It's a nationwide study that is done every year. And so just to show you some stats, SBDC, so you don't have to be a client of SBDC to be successful. You can be successful without the SBDC, but I always say you can be successful faster and grow more if you are a client of the SBDC because of the help that we provide. And so the growth, 23.4% of sales growth versus average Texas business growth of 6.7. So that is amazing. The new Texas, the employment growth, that's not in red, but it has been 7.2% growth for SBDC client versus 3.3 for the average Texas small business. And the new taxes generated, I'll let you look that in there. So the return on investment is 4.61. What does that mean? It means that for every dollar invested, given to an SBDC, we turn around and the community impact, the economic impact is $4.61. And so that's a lot. The cost per job is for, at the network, per employee is $4,260. That doesn't sound like much by comparison, but if you consider other programs have a return of, per employee created, it may be like $10,000. That shows you that we can do it at a fraction of the cost, or at least the impact that we collect. And then the next chart just shows you the SBDC difference. I'll let you take a look at that one. And so that's basically by the assistance by the SBDC helps the small business grow faster and more. And then this is the last slide is our contact information. So if you contact our office and you're interested in one of the other services that I've shared, we can direct you there. So just remember the number or the website, and you call our office and you say, like, I'm a veteran, I need better assistance, to start a small business, we can direct you to VBOC, and contracting the APEX, and any other program that was listed up here. And if we cannot find if you have a question about a program or a resource available, we know other resources across the university that I didn't mention, because because we don't have the time and they're not part of our group, but we can share all that with you if you give us a call. And with that, I will see you.
Thank you.